Every year I give over 1,000 lessons to senior golfers at Goose Creek. Most of them come to me because they're struggling with inconsistent ball striking. They're frustrated with dealing with that untimely miss hit that seems to pop out of nowhere. In our first meeting, I explained to them that inconsistency, the primary reason for inconsistency, is not related to their swing or their golf clubs. Years ago, I discovered that the best ball strikers at every level of the game, not just the tour level, but at every level of the game, the best ball strikers had two things in common. And in this video, I'm going to discuss those two things and how you can apply them to your game to immediately become a more consistent ball striker and better golfer. Hey senior golfers, welcome to my site. When I first started in golf, I studied swing mechanics and swing theory for decades. I thought there was really a best way to swing a golf club, and I was right. The problem is most of the time I was looking in the wrong direction. When I was growing up, it was considered that Lee Trevino, Mo Norman, Ben Hogan, and Sam Snead were considered to be the best ball strikers. So I spent a lot of time studying their swings. And what was interesting is they all swung differently. They all presented the club face to the ball in a very consistent manner, but they did it in a very different ways. And they all had their own, they even thought about the golf swing differently. So what I finally realized that I was looking in the wrong direction. I was looking outward, but really what they had in common was inward. They all swung the club in a way that was easiest for them, and that was really their secret. And if you look at golf, the best golfers of all time, if you go back to Harry Vardon, are currently with Scotty Scheffler, who kind of moves his feet around quite often while he's swinging. The greatest golfers did it their own way. Palmer famously stated, swing your swing. Arnold said, I swung my swing and you should swing your swing. And that's so true. And all great players do it. They swing in a way that's most comfortable, most natural for them. And therein lies the first key to more consistent ball striking. As Arnold Palmer famously stated, swing your swing, not someone else's. I remember Jack Nicklaus, in my book, The Mad Science of Golf, I wrote about studying these great golfers. And I remember Nicklaus wrote in a quote in his book. He wrote a book called My Story. And he wrote about his lifelong instructor, Jack Grout. And Nicklaus said, he always wanted you to do it your way, the most natural way you could, which made him the polar opposite of all those pros who wanted you to do it their way or adopt some method they believed they invented for the salvation of golfers everywhere. So that's the number one key. Do it your way. Now, if you look at putting, you find the same thing. The greatest putters of all time did it their way. I remember when I was growing up, the consensus was among golf historians that the South African golfer Bobby Locke was the greatest putter of all time. And many golfers still think Bobby Locke was the greatest putter of all time. Gary Player, who's now 90 years old, said that he thought only Tiger Woods at his very best could compare to Bobby Locke. And the interesting thing is Bobby Locke had a putting technique that was like no other. He would, Gary Player said on a 10-foot putt, Bobby seemed to be aiming 2 feet right of the hole. He had a closed stance. He swung the putter inside and kind of looped it around and seemed to kind of pull the ball to the hole. And yet he made everything. He was just an amazingly talented putter. When Nicklaus was asked, what's the most important thing in putting? What's the number one factor to becoming a good putter? And Nicklaus said, without hesitation, confidence. Period. He said if a fella could have the worst looking stroke in the world and the weirdest putter in the world, but if he thought he was going to make a 10-foot putt, he had a good chance he was going to make it. On the other hand, the fella could have the best putting stroke in the world and the best fitting putter in the world. But if he thought he wasn't going to make a 10-foot putt, he's probably not going to make it. Nicholas understood that when you putt, when you have confidence, you're not thinking. And when you're not thinking, your body can respond to your intent seamlessly. If you, for example, let's say if you're going to sign your name, you don't think. You just pick up a pen, sign your name. It's perfect. No thinking involved. If you go to your pool and swim, you just dive in your pool and you swim back and forth. You don't think about how you're doing it. You just have the intent to do it, and you do it. When you ride a bike, you just get on the bike and ride. You don't think about how you're going to do it. When you're using a knife and fork, you just have the intent to have breakfast with a friend, and you're talking to the friend the whole time, and you're using your knife and fork and drinking coffee. You don't think about how to do it. Your body just responds to your intent. When you drive to the car, to the store, you just get in the car and drive to the car. You can be talking on the phone the whole way. Doesn't matter. Your body just responds seamlessly to your intent. But when you swing a golf club, for some reason, we feel we have to tell our body how to do it. With all the other examples I just made, your mind is like this, I just talked about. But when swinging a golf club, your mind is like this. You're thinking continuously, trying to control your golf swing. You know, the golf swing is 1.2 seconds. You have hundreds of skeletal muscles contracting in an algorithmic manner. There's no way possible you can control this. And when you try to control it, you just throw yourself off balance. You solve nothing. And probably the primary reason golfers are so inconsistent is because they're thinking over the ball differently every time. They never approach a shot the same way. They're either thinking about the last time they had this play, how they screwed it up, or what they had the last hole, or if they look outward, they think about all the places they don't want to go. They look at the ball, they think about their golf swing. Their mind is always turning. It's never consistent. And as a result, the body is always responding in a different manner, and they're very inconsistent. Their ball striking is very inconsistent. So that's the second big key. Stop thinking. The Hall of Fame, Harvey Penick, the Hall of Fame golf coach, legendary golf coach, says you cannot think about what you are doing while you're doing it. Yogi Berra, the great Yankee catcher, said 50 years ago, 75 years ago, you can't think about how to hit when you're hitting. You know, you have to mentally step aside. So those are the two biggest keys. And those are really the foundation of my entire coaching philosophy. Swing your swing. Don't swing like anybody else. And stop thinking while you're swinging. I encourage you to go find yourself a golf coach that's going to help you understand your natural swing. I work with Easiest Swing because at Easiest Swing we believe there is an easiest swing. That's your swing. And we help you find it. And we help you balance it, and we help you manage it on a day-to-day basis. Secondly, stop thinking when you're swinging. I help my students learn to control their mind, their mental mechanics, which are more important than their physical mechanics. They have to learn to calm their mind, quiet their mind, and to stop getting in their own way. Start letting their intuitive, natural ability trust it like you do everything else. So those are the two keys. If you want to become a more consistent ball striker, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to swing your way, and you're going to stop thinking while you're swinging. If you have any questions, please leave them below. Or you can contact me through my website, Fillmore Golf. Or you can come work with me at Goose Creek Golf Club. I have people fly in all the time to spend a few days with me. I look forward to hearing from you and hopefully working with you. So thank you so much for listening. And if you like this videos, my video series on Effortless Senior Golf, please subscribe. I'll be posting, I try to post a new video once every 1 or 2 weeks. Thanks again.